Mertens. So we're going to be carrying on with what Miss Farr taught you yesterday. So today we're going to be looking at theories of crime from a functionalist perspective. Our learning objectives for today is to explain the functionalist perspective on crime and deviance. So we're only going to be focusing on this theory for today. We're also going to begin to evaluate the usefulness of the functionalist perspective, thinking about some criticisms of their perspective on crime and deviance. So for the starter activity, what I'd like you to do is jot down some ideas on your piece of paper on why you think crime might be a good thing for society. As a challenge task, I'd like you to link the key terms like organic analogy and norms and values to your answer. So remember, organic analogy refers to how the different institutions in society, such as family or education, all play an important role in society, are dependent on each other, and how society would not function effectively if this did not happen. So I'd like you to take a few moments, pause the video, and just write down some ideas on your piece of paper on why you think crime might be a good thing for society. Okay, so we're going to be moving on to a functionalist theorist now, who is Durkheim. Now remember, Durkheim, he believed that crime in small amounts is necessary for society to function. In fact, he went on to believe that crime is inevitable, so it's bound to happen, it's natural, as not everyone is effectively socialized into the correct norms and values of society. He also believed that crime is normal, because a society without crime would be impossible. He did not believe that it could exist. Crime is normal in all societies. Durkheim believed that crime performs 4 functions, as you can see on your screen. What I would like you to do is read through pages 228 to 229 on the textbook that I will be attaching on Show My Homework, to read through these, and then I want you to complete the table that will be on the next slide. So this is what the table looks like. As you can see, there are 4 different functions of crime according to Durkheim. I've done the first one for you. So the first function is reaffirming the boundaries of society. I've given an explanation of what the function means. So I've said when someone breaks the law and is punished, this reminds us of what the rules are in society. So an example of this is when someone is sent to prison for a long sentence, it reminds us that this is a serious crime. For example, if someone commits rape, okay? So I want you to go through the 3 remaining functions. For each one, use the textbook provided to help you, give an explanation of what each one is, and use the prompts on the board to help you provide an example for each one. I've also given you some images as prompts. So I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at completing this table. As a challenge task, I want you to begin to think of some criticisms of Durkheim's idea. So please pause this video now and complete this table. Okay, so let's go through the table. I hope you've paused the video and had a chance to complete it by yourself. So we won't be going through the first one because I've done that for you. The second one is changing values. So an explanation of what this is when a person is charged with a crime, the public may feel sympathy for them. So this shows a change in values within society and can eventually lead to policy changes. So I'll give an example as the picture is hinting towards. Before 1918, women were not allowed to vote in elections. So this would have led to an uproar, there may have been protests, and this would have led to changing values and eventually a change in law that is more equal and treats men and women the same. Okay, so that's an example. The next one is social cohesion. So an explanation of what this is when horrific crimes have been committed, society may unite together in outrage. This will only reinforce a sense of belonging to the community as everyone unites together and are similar in their views in the sense that they are all against this crime. An example of this is when someone commits a murder and is sent to prison, the public may unite in their anger towards this crime. Okay, the last and final one is safety valve. So this is when people may turn to deviant but not criminal acts as a means for them to release their stress and anger against society. So an example of this is people may be involved in a demonstration. As you can see in the picture, some people may be part of a protest or a demonstration to release their anger, release their stress, and to express how they feel. Okay, so now the next key theories that we're going to be looking at is Merton. Now, Merton's theory was called Merton's strain theory. So what I would like you to do is, again, I would like you to pause this video and read through Merton's strain theory on page 229 on the textbook provided. So please pause this video and do that. Okay, now that you have read through the short paragraph on page 229, I now want you to have a go at copying out this paragraph using the words in the word bank. I want you to use that to help you complete the gaps. Okay, so remember, this is Merton's strain theory, so use the words provided to fill in the gaps. As a challenge task, I'd like you to apply Merton's theory to crimes where there are no financial or monetary gain. So, for example, crimes like rape or assault. Okay, I want you to start thinking about that. So please pause this video and complete this task. Okay, we will now be going through the answers for Merton's strain theory. So Merton argues that there is a strain between the socially accepted goals of society and the socially approved ways of achieving these goals. So, for example, if many people in society have a goal of financial success, however, if they struggle to achieve this in a socially acceptable way, such as getting a job in order to earn some money, they may instead turn to deviant acts such as theft in order to make that money. Okay? So it says here, the system only works when there is a reasonable chance that members of society can achieve these goals legitimately. However, if someone cannot achieve these goals, then they will turn to alternative criminal or deviant ways to achieve their goals, such as the example that I've given, such as theft. Merton referred to this as anomie. For example, one socially accepted goal of society is getting a good job and earning money to live. This socially approved way to achieve this is to get good qualifications at school. So in order to get a good job and be financially stable, the socially acceptable way would be to work hard in school, get good grades, and then get a good job at the end of it. However, if someone, like I said, struggles to get good grades at school, they may turn to criminal methods in order to get money. So, for example, they may turn to drug dealing or theft. Okay, so now what I would like you to do is, again, I would like you to pause this video and match up the 5 different ways individuals could respond to the goals set by society. So let's go back to the example that I originally gave you and say the common goal may be to be financially stable. I want you to go through each one and match up the 5 possible ways with how people may respond in that situation. So I've done the first one for you, which is conformity. So in this situation, individuals who work towards achieving their goals through socially acceptable means. So for example, if you want to be financially stable, you know you have to do what's socially acceptable and work hard and get a good job. Okay, so I'd like you to pause this video and go through the remaining 4 and match it up to the correct heading. Okay, let's go through the answers. So the second one is innovation, and this matches up to individuals who are unable to succeed using socially acceptable routes or the conventional or normal routes may turn to crime. This is usually associated with working class individuals who are not successful in education.
Apologies for the interruption. With year 7 boys and girls, please make the way down for lunch at 12:50.
Okay, the third one was ritualism. So hopefully you would have matched it up to this one. This is associated with middle-class individuals who are deviant because they abandon conventional or normal goals of society. Okay? But they cannot become innovators who turn to crime because they are socialized to follow the rules in society. So instead, what they are led to do is they're led to remain stuck in the low-paid or low-status routine jobs. Okay, the fourth one is retreatism. So this is when individuals from any social class drop out of society completely and they reject conventional or criminal success goals. So this could be people who are homeless or people who are addicted to drugs or alcohol. Okay, the fifth and final one is rebellion. So these are people who are known as rebels because they completely reject society. Okay, and they want to create their own new society. So they may use means such as a protest or revolution to achieve this. Okay, so we're now going to be looking at Cohen's subculture theory. Now, he argued that some working class youth experience status frustration. So this is when they reject the dominant norms and values of society and instead form a deviant subculture. So your task is to answer these two questions on the board. So the first one is, can you think of any examples of criminal acts that the working class youth may commit? Second, why do you think the working class youth experience status frustration? Okay, so again, I'm going to give you a few moments to pause this video and answer these two questions. You can use page 229 to help you do that. Okay, so let's go through the answers for this question. So any examples that you might have used were arson or vandalism as criminal acts that the working class may commit. And the reasons why these working class youth experience status frustration, according to Cohen, may be because they want to strike back at what they perceive to be an unequal, unjust social system that has labeled them as failures. So it's their way of getting back at the system. Okay, so let's quickly run through some criticisms of the functionalist view of crime. So we can say that crime is not always functional for individuals. So although Durkheim said that crime performs a positive function, we can dispute that claim, okay, because certainly this may not be the case for victims. Also, functionalists are not clear on how much crime is the right amount. They say that crime should be committed and it's natural for it to happen, but how much, where is the balance? How much crime is the right amount? Also, and the last and final one is that most of the ideas of functionalists tend to focus heavily on working class crime, and this overlooks middle class crimes such as fraud or corporate crimes. Okay, now to end our lesson, what I would like you to do is have a go at these exam questions. Okay, so please pause this video and have a go at these 2 4-mark and 1 3-mark question based on what we covered for today.